things I ever did. It's helped me through some really awful times. So this can help you too. Today we have a wonderful puppeteer with us, Adam Courting. And I just want to say that during my time as a member, I have experienced lots of different areas through the creative arts, including puppetry, which Adam will be bringing to us today. And it's amazing how puppets can actually truly be brought to life. It's incredible. I've also been in a couple of plays, one of which went on tour, learnt lots of theatrical skills, creative writing, storytelling, improvisation. I've also done lino cut printing, life drawing, oh yes, and of course puppetry. So today, as I said to you, Adam will be bringing puppetry to us. Adam is a puppeteer, an actor, a writer, and a theatre maker. And Adam has a really keen interest in working with those without access or privilege or mountains of money. So a really good guy. Thanks, Adam. Today, Adam will show us some simple puppets, and then he will bring the life into them. So sit back, enjoy, listen to Adam. Over to you, Adam.
Thank you, Larraine, for that wonderful intro. I think it's the best one I've ever had in my life. So I appreciate that. So hello, Bravo 22 military personnel, military wives, and everyone else out there. Today, we're going to look at how we can make some really simple puppets using everyday items from around the house. Then we're going to breathe life into them, as Larraine said. And once we learn the principles, you'll then be able to do it with all sorts of objects. So it won't just be the things that we look at today. I do encourage everyone to take part if you can. So grab yourselves bits of paper, just regular paper, some list I did before, or, you know, there's Amazon wrapping paper, or even a bit of newspaper. It's absolutely fine. We're going to make some simple puppets, as I said, and then we're going to look at all the principles, and I might even see if I can get a helper to help me along the way. So just a little bit about myself. So I got into puppets as an actor doing a theatre tour of Spain. My then boss chucked us a frog puppet and said, go on, get on with that. So I did. So here is a photo of me with Prince Philip. Is both of us backstage. As you can see, I am regretting my life choices at the time. Just, you can see it deep in my eyes. But yeah, when I came back to London, I sort of really loved puppets and wanted to keep going. So I practiced and did workshops and just spoke to people and watched shows, which I think is the best way to do it. Just immerse yourself as much as you can. And following that, I managed to get into a show called Dark Matter, which was a beautiful show about a puppet called Alfie. So have a look here. It's a photo of me and some of the other puppeteers with Alfie. So this show is about a quantum physicist who was living with dementia and in the final stages of his life. And what I loved about the show was that we were able to talk about a really meaningful and poignant story. And it wasn't about sort of being silly and joking about. It was actually quite a sensitive subject, but it was quite a powerful way to tell the story. And that's the joy of puppetry, is you get both the silly and the serious together. And it's so versatile, and I think you can use it yourself both to explore ideas, whether they're like sort of big imaginative ideas. And, you know, in the old days, ancient Egyptians and tribes of Africa and, you know, Native Americans, all sorts, use puppets to talk about ritual and bring gods and myths and legends to life, which is the joy of them. But it's also been used as a challenge to power. So 1930s Germany, the Soviet Union, even Gary Friedman used his puppets against apartheid. So here's a picture of those. As you can see, we were able to do some of the puppets that we couldn't do with people, which is to bring a black puppet and a white puppet together, which was actually illegal for human beings to do at the time. So it's actually a wonderful thing that you can do with puppetry if you just open your mind to it. That is enough babbling for me for now. Larraine, are you still awake? You still there?
I'm still here. I am indeed. And I've just got a shout out here for Bravo members, Matt, Sally Ann, Sarah, Dean, Mick and Sharon. It's wonderful to have you with us. And also welcome and hello to Kim and Ruby, who are friends of mine. So hi, and thanks for joining us. Any questions, guys, please hit the comments button and write your questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Larraine. I just want to check with you. So I heard that you were into puppets. I heard in your introduction that you've done some puppetry. I need to ask you something. What's your relationship with puppets at the moment? Have you had any relationships?
I have a very
romantic or
close
otherwise?
relationship with some puppets at the moment.
Okay. Lovely.
When we did the puppet making with Al in the past, we actually, I joined up to the workshop and thought, I don't know why I'm doing this because I'll be rubbish at this. And it was probably one of the most fun workshops I had because the puppets actually did come to life. We made dragons in our group and we put moving parts on. We had sticks, we had the fire coming out of the mouth, the wings flapping. It was just incredible. They really came to life behind the screen. And so for me, it put a completely different perspective on puppetry. The other thing that I've experienced with puppetry is, of course, Warhorse. I was lucky enough to go and see Warhorse. And that horse, to me, is, it's just like a real horse. That horse brings so much emotions out, and it's really incredible the work that can be done with puppetry. So yeah, I'm definitely into puppetry now. I have a great
fantastic. You're a convert. That's great. I'm hoping after this session, or maybe if people have come back to the video later, which will be available on the Bravo 22 channel on YouTube, I think forever now. So after this session, it'll be up there. So you can sort of in your own time get into the puppets and work out your own thing. But that's a very good example of actually, they were able to get a full horse and to make it look like a real horse on stage. And I've put in the links that I've put that people will be able to access afterwards. It's the Handspring Puppet Company who are the ones that devised the Warhorse. They're the ones that created and managed that puppet and also sort of directed it. So you'll be able to get a link to a video that they've done on the 11 principles of puppetry. So we're going to work with about 3 today, but people will be able to take it further and develop it further and hopefully develop your levels of enthusiasm for puppetry. So are you willing to be my guinea pig today?
Absolutely. I am absolutely ready to be your guinea pig today. We just have one question waiting here. What's the weirdest puppet Adam has ever made? And that's from Dean. So what is the weirdest puppet you have ever made, Adam?
I think it's probably a Tyrannosaurus Rex puppet, but it was not a Tyrannosaurus Rex as you and I might know it. It was actually using a mini stepladder. So I was doing a production of Arthur Conan Doyle's Lost World, and we had a scene where it was a Tyrannosaurus Rex versus a Triceratops, except the Triceratops, can I say it anymore? No. Tyrannosaurus Rex was me with a stepladder, just running around going, rah! And the Triceratops was someone with a bin lid and a stool on top, running around going rah. We did actually have dinosaur puppets, but this was us trying to say to the audience, look, we can also be dinosaurs too. So that was probably the weirdest one, and the one that I'm glad there isn't a photo of at the moment. So any other questions or comments or shout outs?
No, I don't think we've got anything else. Oh, sorry, we do. We have morning to Sarah Howarth,
good
Matt,
morning, Sarah.
Mick, Dino, Heather and Sally Ann all watching this morning. I think I did run that, but anyway, and then the question about what's the weirdest puppet you've ever made. So yeah.
Lovely. Okay, here's the moment of truth. So Larraine / everybody at home, please grab your pieces of paper now, or your bits of Amazon wrapping paper, or your newspaper or magazine. Someone's got a Radio Times there, that's great. You sir, I don't know if you should use that magazine, but hey, I'm not going to judge you. So if you take your piece of paper, lovely stuff, the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to fold it in half. It doesn't have to be neat, and just make a rough line with it. So just roughly run your fingers through. Okay, that's just to give us a rough gauge. We're going to split it into wonderful stuff. So if you open it back out again, wonderful. So with your top half, what I'd like you to do is just sort of crush it into the middle. So cave it in. It doesn't have to be neat. Yeah, we're going to fold it in there. You know, some of those days you feel like you're coming in on yourself. It's just one of those moments in life. It's fine. We all go through it. It's okay. So once we push it in like that, excellent stuff. Yeah, how you look? Yeah, that's good. Wonderful. So you should have a sort of a crumple bit at the top, and then the bottom should sort of be folding into a kind of a weird like U shape. That's great.
Yep.
Lovely. So now what you're going to do is you're just going to sort of make that top bit a little ball. So you're just going to fold it in and just make a little ball so you can squeeze it underneath. Yeah, that's it. Press it down. Lovely stuff. Brilliant. That's perfect. How are we doing at home? That's great, madam. It's wonderful. It's exactly what I was looking for. Lovely stuff. So underneath, you're just going to squeeze at the bottom of your ball. Perfect. You're ahead of me there. Maybe you should be teaching this. So that is going to be, we're holding effectively the neck of our puppet now with your two fingers there. And that's going to be the head for now. And what I'd like you to do next is just to, on the side, so if you're right-handed, please hold this in your right hand. If you're left-handed, please hold it in your left. Lovely stuff. So with your non-writing hand, so your weaker hand, I'd like you to just fold, if you're ambidextrous, just pick one, okay? Just pick one. So I'd like you to just fold, make a little fold on the side with your weaker hand, the same side as that, because that's where you're going to hold, and that's going to kind of be like the hand of your puppet, okay? So you've got one hand on the neck, and then just another hand just holding on the side there, just at the side. You just fold it into that little bit. So what we have now is a sort of little Red Riding Hood, little kind of cape, okay? So that's the head. Then this is sort of the cape around. So we're just going to imagine the body is inside here. I know it's quite white. I'll just leave that over there. Lovely. So now we've got our puppet. How are we doing there, Larraine?
Really well.
Excellent. This is the hardest bit of all. Please, Larraine, name your puppet. Everyone else at home, name your puppet.
Okay, my puppet today is going to be called Winston.
Winston, what an appropriate name. Lovely, Winston. Okay, I'm going to call my puppet Stanley. Okay, this is Stanley the puppet. No, you've got Winston. I'm going to pick a woman's name because I want gender balance here. This is now Florence. Florence puppet. Lovely. So I hope you've all named your puppets at home. Have you? Yeah, that's cool. Was that an old buddy of yours? Great. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, have we got any questions there or comments actually before we move on? Because we're going to go into the principles now. I want to make sure that everyone is. Anything out there, Larraine, for anyone want to say?
I have actually just got a shout out here from my daughter who's watching from New Zealand. Hi,
Beautiful.
baby.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay, that's a beautiful thing. I'm glad you can see your mum out there just making some incredible puppets and doing great work. How are you doing out there in New Zealand? So we now move on to the principles. So the first thing we're going to look at is, well, how do we know someone's alive, Larraine? Well, what are the signs that someone's alive?
I would say initially the first sign would be whether they're breathing or not.
Correct. It's like I set you up for that one. Perfect. Absolutely. So the first thing we do is we breathe life into the puppets. We're going to use our own breath. We're going to make it audible so that people can hear that the puppet is breathing, and we're going to breathe at the same time. We're going to start really slowly to establish a really calm baseline breathing, and then we're going to use the increasing pace of it to suggest different emotions. So the first thing we'll do, Larraine, is just use your gentle breath and just slowly bring it up and down as you breathe. So lovely stuff. That's perfect. Can I hear you breathing as well, Larraine? Lovely stuff. Brilliant. Okay, so when you've got that, we call that sort of like the baseline. So that's someone in resting state. And when we want to bring like someone in, get them nervous or angry, we just increase the pace. So if you can just increase the rhythm of your breathing, so start with the calm state, Larraine, and then start to breathe faster. And then faster. And then faster, and then the bills come in you didn't expect. That's it. Oh my goodness, someone's knocking at the door. You're still in your dressing gown. Unbelievable. Perfect. Lovely. Stop there, Larraine. I didn't want to get you into sort of states of unrest. Wonderful. So that's a really simple way that just using breath and no words, we can start to communicate what the puppet is feeling, and people will start to put on an emotion just by watching that, because they'll start to think, what does a person do when they do that? That's lovely. That's breath. The next thing is focus. Okay, so there are two types of focus. There's the focus of the puppeteer. So Larraine, I'll need you, if you hold Winston out front, I'll need you to just focus on the back of Winston's head. And what that does is it makes us, as your audience, look at you first, and then we look at where you're looking, which is the puppet. And if you continually look at the back of Winston's head, we'll continually look at Winston from the front. So now if you start to bring in the breath again, so keep looking at Winston's head. There we go. And just add that breath in, really calm. There we go. And then start to increase the pace again. That's it. Lovely stuff. Perfect. At home, I hope you're doing this too. Join us. It's lovely. Thank you. Don't forget, keep your comments and shout outs coming. The next thing is the focus of the puppet. Okay, so what I need for you is to keep the puppet out front. So don't move the puppet. So keep it out front and get Winston to look at one corner of the room while you look at the back of his head. Yep, and keep the breath going. There we go. We'll just watch you for now. Lovely. And then look at another corner in the corner in the room, Winston. Great stuff. In fact, I'm just going to talk to Winston instead. Sorry, Larraine. And then maybe look a bit up at the ceiling, Winston. Oh, you've noticed some dust there. Breathe a bit heavily because it's starting to freak you out, Winston. Yeah, look down at the floor just to get your calm again. Now you're breathing slowly, Winston. Oh, good. No more dust, no more spiders. Lovely stuff. Thanks, Larraine. We'll take a quick break here to see if there are any shout-outs or comments.
Yeah, we do have some questions. So, do you make paper mache puppets? From Matt Whiteman is one of the questions here.
Oh, good question. I have done just once before. I've got one here. Here's it. I sort of made this with a friend. This is for another session, but basically with Hessian sack, and we sort of paper mache the head. There we go. So yeah, it has been done before, but I need more. I'm a bit lazy.
Also, Sally Ann's puppet is called Elsa, Matt's is called Barbara, and Sharon's is called Bessie. So, welcome everybody.
Welcome.
So I have, does Adam ever catch himself having conversations with puppets he's made? Also, a Matt Whiteman question.
Thanks, Matt Whiteman. You're giving me the Paxman grilling, which I do appreciate. Yes, I do. I have conversations with myself anyway, which I kind of have done for a few years. But with the puppets, it's quite nice because I find this a nice relaxing thing. If you're really upset with something and you have a puppet around, it's just quite a nice way to either vent to the puppet or get the puppet to vent, okay? So it doesn't have to be you. So this puppet can be like, this man holding me is just annoying. So you can really let stuff out and then put the puppet down and just breathe and it's all fine. So thanks, Matt Whiteman, for exposing me and my flaws. Anything else out there, Larraine?
I think that's it for now. Thank you.
Lovely. So we've done breath, we've done focus of the puppet and the puppeteer. The next thing we're going to do is weight/movement. And that's just deciding the size and the whether your puppet is floaty or whether it's quite grounded and weighty. So these are decisions you're going to make as a puppeteer, which you all are now. If you haven't started yet, get your paper and get involved, okay? It's fine. And people have named their puppets already. Keep sending in names of your puppets too. It's really important, just so that we know you're out there and listening and supporting us. And subscribe to Bravo 22. So there's our puppet. There's Winston and Florence. So what we'll do is, Larraine, can you decide whether Winston is going to be a floaty puppet or a weighty puppet? You know, decide on the size yourself. And I'd like you to just gently or quickly move Winston across the screen. You know, you can decide whether Winston is a heavy, trudgy puppet or whether Winston is sort of
He means business.
He means business.
He does indeed.
Wonderful stuff. Brilliant. So if you start Winston from there, give us the focus of Winston. Yeah, get Winston to pick a point in the room to look at, and then add the breath, and then just move Winston across the screen the way that he would move. Lovely. And if anyone can hear, what Larraine's doing is actually giving a bit of audible sound with that. So there's a That is perfect. That is, your wonderful skills as a puppeteer are shining through, which is beautiful. So at home, please do that too. If your puppet glides or is weighty, make that an audible sound. So it can be like, yeah, you can make it bassier. It doesn't have to be that high. I naturally go high. We can do all sorts of stuff with the puppets. That was fantastic, Larraine. The last thing I'll do with you is intention. So that is, every time you move your puppet, it must be for a reason. Okay, so maybe they've seen something, maybe they're feeling something. If can you just show us Winston is late for work and is moving across the screen late for work? Lovely stuff, brilliant. Can you show us Winston has just remembered that, or has just been watching lottery and the 6th number has come up, Winston's just won the lottery. Lovely stuff, brilliant. Intention. If you know what you're doing, you don't need to tell the audience because they will take it from what you're doing there, which is perfect. That is wonderful. Thank you so much, Larraine. Winston, would you like to take a bow? Lovely stuff. Larraine, thank you. That was brilliant stuff.
You're welcome.
Yes, I'm going to come back to you. Anything else out there? Any shout outs or names?
Yes, we've got Kim's puppet is called Dave and Dean's is called Peter.
Dave and Peter.
So, hello, Dave and Peter.
Good to meet you there. I just wanted to kind of show people some different types of puppets using everyday items, if that's all right, Larraine. So I'm just I need you to keep an eye on that that board, the comments. Keep your comments coming in. Keep puppeteering out there. Don't stop now. So here's a really simple thing we can do with a bit of newspaper, okay? So I'm going to cue a bit of sound because I'm all about the tech here. I hope this comes through. So just using a bit of newspaper, I'll crush this up, okay? And then just talking about breath, okay? I'm going to use this here, and just by putting on a little bit of Chopin, or Chopin, depending on how you like to pronounce it. I'll just get this here, and, oh, there we go. So, using my lovely puppet here, I'm going to just slowly start to put breath in. Oh, there we go. Can you hear that, Larraine?
Yes.
There we go. So just a bit of breath. So that's like a really simple thing we can do. So using a bit of sound and just being really careful with it and slow with it, we can kind of show, we can create something that is not really a thing, but it's alive. Okay, and that's the joy of it. It doesn't have to you don't have to name it. It just has to be alive. I've got a couple of
me. Sorry.
Yeah, what did I remind you of?
Ballet.
Oh yes,
Ballet
there we go.
dancers. Yeah.
The beauty of ballet dancers and that kind of, that's brilliant. So if we put on rock music, you know, we can create a different sort of atmosphere. I've got 2 socks here and I just wanted to show you what we could do with socks is just like have them and wiggle them about and not really commit to it. We're not putting any focus in. We're not really putting any intention. We're just flapping them about. Or I can kind of put on a bit of a soundtrack, a bit of Godzilla music. So, yeah, sorry, that was me getting a bit carried away with socks. We could equally do that without music, but I think the music makes it more epic. So if you want to know how to make your puppetry more epic, just add a little soundtrack in. The last thing I wanted to show you was just this thing here. So this is just a jumper. It's my girlfriend's jumper here. My scarf and my hat. And just by taking this, it sort of creates the illusion of a person. We know it's not a person, but it's got that kind of invisible man, invisible person type feel. So what I do is I can add some breathing. just by, yeah, a bit of focus to the puppet. And then I just sort of get it to move carefully. Do you want to go and type something? Well, go on then. Go on. Thanks. That was a very simple, very silly thing you can do, but it just shows that actually we can use anything around us. And if we just add some of the basics, a bit of breath, focus, and intention, we can bring anything to life. So that is a really, really simplified version of how we can use really simple principles, add it to anything, and it's just about finding how that thing moves. So if it's a water bottle, it doesn't have the same kind of dimensions and structure as a bit of paper. So maybe this kind of rolls along the screen. Maybe it just kind of glides across everywhere, just sort of like a little robot, you know, just kind of a... So there's different things we can do with different things at home. Don't let your imaginations run free, run wild, enjoy yourself. And remember, no one else is watching if you don't want them to, so you can just have your own little fun in your own space. Larraine, it's been an absolute pleasure. Anything else out there that anyone wants?
Yes, there's several questions at the moment. So Sally Ann asked, has anybody ever walked in on you when you've been talking to your puppet? So I'll let you answer that, and then I'll come back with the others, because I know we're running out of time now.
Yes, Sally Ann, the answer is yes. Yes, people have done, but in a way, I guess people that know me kind of think sometimes that I'm a little bit strange anyway. So for them, it's actually quite a normal thing to see me talking to an inanimate object.
Thank you very much. Matt says he thinks the newspaper looked like a jellyfish. Yeah, that did. Yes. And also, what is the biggest challenge with puppetry? Really good question.
I think the biggest challenge is just, I guess, for you just to stick with it. Sometimes when it feels like it's not working, or if you're doing it with an audience, sometimes that can be a bit intimidating. I like to practice stuff on my own in my own space first before kind of showing people often. But I do sometimes work with people in a bigger group. It's just your own imagination, your own kind of insecurities about doing it. Maybe it feels a bit silly. Maybe you're struggling with it, but it's just a skill that you develop. Anyone can do it. The puppets that you make don't have to look like Warhorse puppets or Lion King or Muppets. In fact, that leads me on to a challenge. So everyone, you're going to have a challenge here, which is to create your own puppets. You may have done it already. Great stuff. If not, your challenge is to create a puppet that represents you using household items only from your house. Okay, so not things that are actually puppets, but you're going to build something, maybe out of newspaper, maybe using socks or clothes or whatever your imagination lets you run with. You're going to take a picture of it and send it in to Alice, and the email address is bravo22@thedriveproject.co.uk. Send in those photos so we can see your wonderful work. Also subscribe and comment, and yeah, let's just get involved and make this a two-way thing. But yeah, I want to thank everyone so much for participating, for watching, for being patient with my ridiculousness and my babbling, and also anyone that's watching on YouTube later on, please do get involved. Once you've watched this, rewind and make your own puppets, and just challenge yourself and have fun with it. Have fun. But thank you so much for having me, and thank you everyone here. Any other things before I shoot?
Just really quickly, have you ever solved a dispute with a puppet? From Sally Ann. And how long has Adam done puppetry? From Poppy.
No, I've never solved disputes with puppets. It's often been lots of cooling off periods. Unfortunately, I don't have those kind of negotiation skills to really bring, or mediation skills, I should say. But I have kind of helped get puppets in the room together. But, you know, after that, I've kind of had to leave and let them get on with it. And I've been doing puppetry since 2016, 2015-16 I think was the first time, so that's 4 or 5 years now. and there's always stuff to learn, and everyone always surprises me. And yeah, is please get involved. You can do it too. Build your own puppets, make your own shows, have fun with it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you. It's been a wonderful workshop and a very small introduction into actual puppetry. So that's amazing. Thank you so much. I will say, ladies and gents, if you sign up to the interactive workshop, Adam will be back next Wednesday, but that's at the interactive workshop, and you need to sign up for that. We'll be back on Tuesday at 11 a.m. But thank you so much for joining us. It's fabulous that you were all able to make it. Thank you for all your questions and comments. Please find any resources that you may be interested into looking at puppetry further in the video description below. And also in the video description below, you will find the feedback form. Please give feedback. That will enable Bravo 22 to be bigger and better. So please do provide feedback. Also, please do remember to like us, subscribe to us. We have a target of 500 subscriptions, and everyone counts. So please subscribe to us. Enjoy. Have a fabulous weekend. Hope you've all got some VE Day 75th celebrations in order. Stay safe. Thanks again, Adam. All take care. Bye.